Walter White's transformation throughout the Breaking Bad series, from a simple suburban dad and devoting husband into a cold-hearted, formidable character, is like the developmental process of a living organism. In this video, we'll delve into the 3 key transformations Walter White underwent to become a stronger and more resilient individual. Following these steps can help you in fulfilling your potentials. And no, you don't have to become a ruthless drug lord to make change in your personality. All you need to do is to try and find a better way to present yourself to the world. So let's begin. Walter White is first shown as a worn-down individual with no enthusiasm for life. The way that he averts his gaze in conversations in the first season is basically an invitation for others to dominate him. We can see the same pattern of eye contact again and again in his interactions with family members, at the car wash and even at school. Reacting to Hank's jokes and taunting remarks with forced social smiles shows that Walter is consciously holding himself back, trying to embody the role he has maintained for years, a facade of a friendly, peaceful family man. His whole body language and gesture is a way to stay disconnected from the external world, and we often see him immersed in his own thoughts in an offline mode. Now, we all know Walter's true potential, but at that point, his detachment from others reflects his reluctance to use his mental abilities to outshine or dominate the other party.
So, how'd it feel to be on?
How does it feel to be a smartass?
Good.
He has forsaken this approach in favor of a more simple and composed lifestyle. And as a result, he often settles for optimistic remarks about life and stays in denial with regard to his problems. But in reality, his abstinence only results in accumulation of his hidden potential, which can resurface later.
Damn junkie! No, give me that! This is going down the toilet. Watch it go! No, that's worth 40 grand, you stupid shit! It's worth nothing when you smoke it all! Get off the toilet! Get off the toilet!
A closer examination of his situation reveals that Walter isn't the one calling the shots in any setting, whether within his family circle, at work, or even social gatherings.
Hey, it's not gonna bite you, all right? Looks like Keith Richards with a glass of warm milk. Hey, Walt, come everybody, listen up.
There is always some level of uncertainty in Walter's actions and his speech. Maybe it's because he finds his mundane life lacking the stimulation his brilliant mind craves, or perhaps it's a result of his acceptance of defeat and his adaptation to a state of learned helplessness. In any case, Walter White's diagnosed lung cancer is far from an excuse for him to secure his family's future. In reality, it becomes an opportunity for him to break free from his confines of his monotonous life. We all have boundaries and ties that limit us to fulfill our potentials. While Walter's decision to get involved in drug business was unjustifiable, at that point, his adherence to his family and core values up to a certain point is admirable. I guess the healthy take here is trying to take risks and not staying in our comfort zone for too long. Because in the end, we are not doing anyone any favors by withholding our abilities, and we are gonna end up as dull and boring as the formerly mild-mannered chemistry teacher, Walter White. We can say the moment of realization for Walter is when his cancer goes into remission. This is when he truly starts to evaluate his situation and there are observable changes in his behavior. Walter now feels more comfortable in his skin as a criminal and even starts bullying others.
What are you looking at him for? We're celebrating.
Given his improved physical health, he can no longer morally justify his involvement in meth industry. This realization somehow compels him to make a decision between returning to his former lifestyle or accept the new reality of his life as a criminal. Now that Walter isn't facing imminent death, he must confront the repercussions of his own actions. Maintaining the facade of an innocuous man for a few months to secure his family's future is one thing, but living that way over the long term demands considerable effort. For a proud man like Walter, whose abilities have been overlooked for many years, living a dual life generates a lot of cognitive dissonance. Events like Walter Jr.'s fundraising website or lying about Elliot paying for his cancer treatment created discrepancies that he could not easily resolve. Walter's ego is poised for a shift to solve these discrepancies, and this is where his behavioral and environmental change turns into a change in attitude. He internalizes the idea that he is doing something important and takes pride in his work. Walter is introduced to a new currency, Making money is not the ultimate goal anymore, and it's not considered a privilege, but is his right as a talented chemist and the byproduct of Walter's new identity. This tends to occur in people once they surpass a particular threshold of security. One of the pitfalls of fame and fortune is the difficulty in celebrating new accomplishments. In Walter's case, it's no more about the amount of money. It's about what the numbers represent. He transitions from quantitative objectives to prioritizing qualitative ones.
This is unacceptable.
He comes to realize that he finds enjoyment in the thrills of his secretive lifestyle. At the same time, the line defining his extreme and horrifying actions moves from justifiable self-defense homicide to passively witnessing another person's death. Before we move on to the next part, if you enjoyed watching this video, support our channel by liking the video and subscribing to our channel. Any long-term behavioral change culminates in the internalization of the new order and commitment to new values. Indeed, walterwhite experienced certain setbacks in his transformation process, primarily due to his efforts to maintain the facade of a nice man for the sake of his family and loved ones. When Skylar becomes suspicious of Walter's activities and separates from him, Walter begins to fully embrace his new identity. He now sees himself as a source of danger, as a businessman capable of running an empire without hesitation, even when it involves taking someone's life. His actions and attitudes align, heading in a unified direction. Consequently, the way others perceive Walter shifts, and the feedback he receives reinforces his newly formed beliefs and perspective on the world. He actively seeks out new strategies to elevate his game and ascend to the leadership of the operations. He begins to manipulate others to adopt roles that align with his objectives. This new Walter applies similar principles in both his family life and work. The old Walter momentarily emerges when his core beliefs are challenged, like when a family member's safety is at stake. During these moments, he becomes conscious of the mistakes he has made. Surely the new Walter is more strong and authoritative. But this almighty character pays the ultimate price and ends up losing everything he once had. The Season 1 Walter was someone that was not honest with himself and was under the impression that he should sacrifice his own desires and suppress his true potential in order to keep his family and society happy. As time went on, he evolved into someone who made decisions on behalf of others and suppresses his moral side, and he struggled to reconcile these two personas. The lesson that we learned from Walter is if you want to build a stronger persona, the key is to constantly reevaluate your situation, especially at the realization state, based on your values and social assets, and keep an eye on your true supporters, and maintain a healthy relationship in the process.